Good evening, all. Ira Epstein with your financial market wrap-up, and this wrap-up is for the evening of Tuesday, the 4th of October, 2022, and we're about 5:50 p.m. Central Time. Now remember, a whole host of events all week long. A big event tomorrow is going to impact the energy market as OPEC Plus is meeting. The energy minister, Mr. Novak, is appearing from Russia. This is the first time in person the OPEC ministers have gotten together in 2 years. On the table is a monster production cut of as much as 1 million barrels a day. Now, I've asked for analysis from some of you, and I've gotten it, and I appreciate it. Alfred was very kind, I won't give his last name, and gave me some of the facts that I need. And yes, how it works out, each 100,000 barrels can go, as you cut, anywhere between 50 cents to $1, depending on the world part of where you're at. In other words, cut 100,000 barrels, probably going to raise prices in a perfect world, 50 cents to $1. I've heard people say 1 million is worth $5. I've heard other people tell me it's worth $10. Now, we also have in different parts of the world the ending of the strategic oil reserves, especially in the U.S. Now, I don't know the exact date that the administration is going to end that. A new problem. If OPEC cuts, and assuming prices then rise, first of all, I don't know how much of it is built in already. I would think $2 or $3 is in the market. It's not a surprise they're going to meet, and the market's accepting it. So there's probably half that built into the market. Well, that sort of takes away Joe Biden letting the cat out of the bag, saying under $80, let's refill our spiders. He didn't learn anything from Donald Trump, who as many problems as Mr. Trump has, he knew how to negotiate and not tell his enemies what he's going to do. And it's just not the way with Mr. Biden. So I question, unless there's a monster break in the world economies, just how far down you're going to go if these production cuts kick in. In the stock market, today was that day where everything ran again. Even Elon Musk came out late in the day. He did what, if you're in my morning subscriber videos, and you know I've been telling people, I said I put in throwaway money, believe me, small amount, into Twitter. And I said, I think it'll go for at least 50. I think he will lose that law case. Today he threw in the towel, sort of. We'll see if it all snatches. Everything I'm reading says it will, for full price. And the stock went up to $52 a share. So yay, yay. Will I hang in there for the very end? I doubt it. You know, you take what you've got and away you go. I was with a great friend last night, a woman, money manager, a big one. And I said, all right, we're doing well. She says, no, I took my money off the table. She said, I didn't make a lot. I made a reasonable amount of money. I said, why? And she said, I just got frustrated with it. I said, well, that's why it's called throwaway money. Okay. So as we look at the marketplace, the dollar got smashed today as traders have decided via the fact that Australia pivoted. What does pivot mean? Australia didn't break interest rates, but instead of going for a 50 basis point hike that was widely expected, they pivoted to a 25-point one. Traders are getting this mental thing that the Fed is going to pivot away from a potential 75 basis point hike in November to a 50. And then from there, maybe from 50s to 25s until they get to the point where they have the neutral rate. In other words, where our rates are above inflation. What type of inflation? They love core inflation. They tell you the numbers they like. So if that's 4.2, 4.3, I think you're going to be over that number to get fairly neutral. Okay. So what do you do with all that? Well, let's go to the markets and see what they're telling us. If we take a look on a weekly chart of closes, look what the market's done. How many of you took advantage a week ago when I was when I did put out my recording of my special stock index? Tell me that we weren't right at the right time and all that. If you don't think so, I don't know what you watched. Here's the bounce I've been looking for, and you'll see where it came from on the daily charts. The weekly did the same thing. So as the market has stepped up, you've left this area where you were trying to consolidate. You had an outside day up and you accelerated. Okay, now what you've got is a lower low, higher high on the swing line. This brown line is a swing line. I use it to determine window envelopes and other studies that are deviations from, in theory, the 18-day average, but I threw that out and I came up with a different way, as I usually do, on using the studies that I learn about to make it fit my style. That simple. I think it's a better mousetrap. In any case, what I did create swing lines for was my son, who is now 38, and I did this when he was 13. And I said, you can go anywhere. You put this on a chart, and I taught him how to draw it, and you can talk to anybody on a chart if the market's in a bull trend, bear trend, or no trend at all, in the most simplistic form, no other filters on it. Well, an uptrend would have higher highs, higher lows. You don't have that. You have a lower low, higher high. It's called no trend. You broke an existing downtrend. Want to see that? Okay, since you asked me. Do you disagree? You started fudging around right here, trying to break that trend. And when you broke through now, that did it. So you're out of the downtrend. Okay. Where's the resistance? How often do I tell you the line in the sand? Markets that have been in uptrends or downtrends like to return often. I wish I could tell you it's every time. It's not accurate. Often, real often, to the 18-day average of closes to figure out what to do. They like to return to the 18-day average to figure out what to do. They like to return to the 18-day average to figure out what to do. Why is that so difficult for some people? What about where we're at now with everything together? Okay, Bollinger Band with it. The Bollinger Band held the market. You got your bounce. I'm happy with that. And momentum up. So you have momentum up, no trend, and you're into the resistance of the 18-day average of closes. Let's do the same thing in the NASDAQ. The momentum's up. You're no longer with the embedded reading. So let's take a look at something. When you lose an embedded reading, where should the market go? 18-day average of closes. Do you disagree with me? Tell me the number you're making the run at. Let's take another look. Dow. Did you lose the embedded reading? So let's take a look here. This is why that course that I created, Enhanced Bollinger Bands, 13 chapters, it'll stick with you. Take a look. All at one time. You normally don't do that. But can it happen? Of course. Your warning, you can't be short anymore. You can't be long, you can't be short. The Russell, same thing. So, as I see the chart, the Russell's in the uptrend. Do you disagree with that? Higher lows, higher highs. Not the case in the Dow, not the case in the NASDAQ, and not the case in the S&P. One market is in the uptrend. One doesn't run the whole spectrum. When we come to the VIX, you know what I'm going to tell you. You're making your run at the 18-day average. That's the zone where the market should try to hold together. We then come over to the bonds. Need I tell you, a downtrend, where did you go and where are you having the problems? The 18-day average of closes. What about the 10-year? What about the dollar? I don't look for the dollar to collapse. It doesn't have to go down here. It could, but there's no reason. I think it's going to just hang in there until it gets into Friday's or Thursday, where it gets to look at some more jobs data. Now, it's going to see the unemployment claims. Remember, that's coming up too. So it's going to see a lot of data coming right in front of it. Today's data in the JOLTS was enough of a decline in new job offerings. I think it was 6% if I was right. That it's giving a ray of hope, especially with the Reserve Bank of Australia doing the first major bank pivot in not going for the big rate hike, instead dropping back a bit. In the euro currency, you're already in overbought territory, a nice bear market run. Will you pull back and fight at that number? Probably. What about the British pound? Well, this has been one heck of a run. From a market that died, it's all of a sudden come back a whopping 11 cents. That's big. So if you were in Europe, and I had a good friend that was there at this time, And he was telling me, he said, Ira, everything's 10% more now than it was just with him over a week ago. We were laughing about it. There's another gentleman I was with last night. He just got back. Actually went to Sicily, and then they stopped in London. And as you can see how the market just came up there, and away you go. It's amazing. I go out at night. We don't get home till late, and I'm up 4 a.m. working. I'm older, too. In Bitcoin, trying to be in an uptrend. So I think the pros are going to nibble into here at 19,736. Their stop will probably be 18,855. A little bit risky. If they're right and the market does pick up, the objective is the upper band. It hasn't really hit either band, the upper bottom one. You are in an uptrend, though, with momentum still pointing up. Now we get to the differential of Brent versus WTI, and I'm always amazed how you kick the market all the way up here, and all of a sudden it's back to that 18-day average right in front of tomorrow's OPEC Plus meeting. Come on. I mean, if you don't get it already, knock your head against the wall. You should learn this. It's in my charting course. My full charting course explains and teaches you all this. In the Brent crude, okay, so the resistance numbers come together pretty interesting. Right here's the 200-day average at 93.28 to the upper band at 94.79. I have a theory in trading, and I follow it, really follow it. I don't go through major reports. You probably got your own opinion, what you're going to do. I see this all the time. I wish you the best with it. I have as much idea what OPEC is going to do as the man in the moon, nor do I know how the market will react to it. I'll let the market do its thing, and I'll be there afterwards. If there are pieces that I think I can pick up, I will. If not, there's other trades, other places. If you keep going in November, WTI, 89.61 to 89.84 is the resistance there. Gasoline's already a little bit overdone, but are you listening to the reports around the country? Do you have any idea how many refineries right now are down? Californians are screaming because the price of gasoline is literally in a runaway mode because, in part, of this. We had one in Whiting, Indiana that services Chicago, the same problem, getting them in other places. I read every morning, I wake up, I'm showering, I'm listening to what's going on early, and there's an indefinite, right away, it's Fox. I always watch Fox local TV, and they've got the gas prices, and they even had today a big dissertation on what's going on. I was very impressed with that. To the upside here. So, are you ahead of the Bollinger Band? Yeah. Do I ever tell you to buy over one? It'll never happen. So, one more time. Want to remind you that we're going to have the live webinar. In order to get to it, follow me. Just take your cursor at any point right now. I'll make sure this thing moves. And just move it to the top up here at any point. You'll see an icon appear. Click it. Fill out the form. You're going to get then your user ID and password to log in. You'll get a reminder anyways, but in there, let's assume you want me to cover TLT, any of the different spiders, ETFs, let me know. I've got all the futures charts. You don't have to worry about that. You can ask me during the meeting on the futures charts. I will have them. I can go with them like that. I don't have 3,000-4,000 stock charts at my hand to do it. And I had one person write me, I've never heard of half of these companies, but we're going to discuss with them, with him and with everybody else, what they are come Thursday. So 12:30 p.m. up here, give it a click. I'm Ira Epstein. Hit like if you like this video. I'll talk to you all later.